what's going on? This is Marcos. Today we're looking at the cinema lens kit. These are the Dulens APO Mini Primes Vintage Series. You see here I have the 43, 58, and 85 mil, and the 31 mil is right now sitting on this main camera. And so you have 4 lenses available right now. They're all T2.4 and they cover full frame sensor. You know, that's amazing. They're also coming out, it's on pre-order right now, the 21 mil, that'll be a T2.6. You have to go to the website, I believe, in order to get it. But price point wise, you can get all these 4 lenses for under $4,000. I think these are the most affordable mini or micro cinema primes you can get. I think the other ones are like the Athena, Nizi primes, which have the same form factor, but they're slightly more expensive, which brings me to my next point. It's gonna be hard for me to complain about these lenses because you gotta think about the price point. They're under $1,000 if you get all 4 of them. So the form factor is great for, let's say, gimbal work or for traveling, because you can fit all these 4 lenses in your bag, no problem. Look at how lightweight they are, like 1.2 pounds. If you're doing gimbal work and you need a lightweight lens because you're maxing out your gimbal, these are the way to go. The lens, the gears all match, you see there. So it's not gonna be any problem with recalibrating the gimbal or rebalancing. The motors will fit in the same spot, which is amazing that they did that. Now the problem with size, it's having such a small lens, is that you don't have much space in between the T-stop ring and the focus ring and the front of the lens, which means when you're putting on focus motors in a matte box, you can barely get in there. I was in a shoot and the matte box could, you know, we had to like maneuver the focus motor. You could barely get in there. Also, if you're trying to fit a motor here on, or a follow focus on a T-stop ring, it's probably not gonna work. It's too close to the PO mount. You see there, it's pretty stiff, but I mean, that doesn't really bother me. I usually don't put any kind of focus motor on the T-stop. It's the focus ring that I worry about, which is very smooth on all of these. It's got a nice throw to it. I'm not sure what the focus throw is on it, but it's pretty smooth. And it's got both metric and imperial markings. I'm glad they did that. These are PL mount. They are also working on making EF mount. But I would say you're gonna get these lenses, get PL mount. They're more secure. They're probably, if you plan to rent them to someone, it's just better to go PL mount. So I really like that. If we look at the front, 80 mil diameter for your matte box, 72 millimeter thread for any screw-on filters that you might need. See there, nice. Even though it's 1.2 pounds, the feel of it, it's like nice metal. It feels robust. It feels good in the hand. I really like the look of it. So, you know, again, back to what you're getting for the price, it's a really great build quality. So that's it. Nice lens cover, PO mount. Cap is pretty nice. It doesn't feel too cheap. So I gotta say, as far as build quality, it's really good. These are advertised as a vintage series, so to have a vintage look. But from running my test, I compared it to my IRX cinema lenses, and they're definitely not as sharp or as modern looking as the IRX. But then I compared it to my Minolta Rocha X, and those are pretty vintage lenses. And they also don't have the same characteristic of a vintage lens. They're not as vintagey as like real vintage lenses, right? So I think they sit somewhere in the middle. Doesn't have the weird chromatic aberrations or flares that you see from vintage lenses. So I would place them more towards modern lens, but not as sharp as a modern lens. Now these are all T2.4, and I do wish they were T2. That would give me an extra half stop of light. But again, it's hard to complain given the price point. Yeah, I wish there was a little bit more bokeh and more out of focus elements once you stop down a little bit more. But yeah, T2.4 is still pretty good. Now let's talk about lens flares. They're pretty neat across the board, except for the 43 mil. It has a little bit more of a rainbow flare, which I'm not a fan of. You might see the rainbow lens flare coming out, but it's more pronounced on the 43 mil. Let me show you. This is the 31 mil, and I mean, you don't really see it with this. Oh, there it is, with this light. You kind of see it a little bit, but anyways, that gives you a good idea of what it would look like. Lastly, I gotta mention that these lenses were lent out to me for 2 weeks only by this rental house in LA called Origin Cine. I'll link to them if you want to check them out. So, you know, given that I only had 2 weeks to play with them, I'll give you my overall conclusion. I think these lenses are great for the price. It's really hard to complain given the T2.4. Even that, it's like, okay, I know I'm not paying crazy prices for a lens set. They're small, great for travel. I would definitely, you know, get something like this. I like the weird focal lengths. I wish this 85 was like a 82 or 88 or whatever, something different. And it's just a point of interest. Like, yeah, these are weird focal lengths, right? I like that aspect of it. Also for gimbal work, they're great for that. You know, they're not heavy, 1.2 pounds. You don't have to rebalance the gimbal. They all weigh around the same focal. The rings are on the same place, which is great for quickly remounting the lenses. And overall, the build quality is great. I can't really say anything bad about the build quality. It's amazing what they did for the price point. So if you have any questions about these, please let me know down in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.